kids were playing against each other in a school game up at English Martyrs. And after the game, he liked what he seen. He come up to me and says, "Hello, mate. My name's Brian Crinigan." I said, "Oh, pleased to meet you." He says, "I'm interested in signing you a lad for me because I run a team for Rugby Rangers." I says, "Brian, my son plays for Bilton Ajax. Piss off." And that was my words to him at the time. And then I got home that day, had my tea, and just sat down and got a knock on the door. And there was Brian Crinigan. "Hello, mate. It's nice to see you again." I says, "Oh, come in, mate. Come in." So we had a good chat about the ins and outs of football and everything else, and my son agreed to sign for him. And we never looked back since. I've known him 26 years now. I've never had a cross word. I'm Jamie McGregor. I was the chairman of Rugby Town Junior Football Club from 1994 until 2004. Me and Brian decided to form a club of our own. But unbeknown to us, Rugby Town, who my son played for, was about to fold. So my son came down and told me that Rugby Town were folding. So I said, "Is that true?" He said, "Yeah." So I phoned Brian up and said, "What do you fancy taking the affiliation number and go and see Barry?" He said, "Yeah, do it." So I went and knocked on Barry's door, Barry Collinson, who was the manager at the time, asked him if it was true, and he said yes. So I got his permission in writing to go to the FA, and that's how the club was formed. We're here at English Martyrs School. This is where Rugby Town's first ever team started to play the games. We were here for 2 years. We had some great times. We used to play in the mud and the rain because it was our decision to play pitch whether they wanted it or not, but we carried on anyway. The kids loved it. It was just great to see kids from rugby playing for Rugby Town. You know, and this is the ethos of, oh, we needed kids from rugby to play for the town. That's why me and Brian got this together and set it all up, and it's a nice legacy for the town.
My name is Neil Hunt. I was the first secretary of the club, then I became vice chairman and kept that post for several years after that. Brian's lad and my lad obviously played football. I met Brian. We were playing the same team. We played for different teams in previous seasons. Then we decided we felt that we could have run the club or run a club a little bit better, the way we wanted to run it. The Rugby Town name became a massive problem. Because we were using the name Rugby Town, there's VS Rugby, and we had a complaint, and we had to go to the headquarters in Birmingham, to the FA, to answer some questions why we were using the name Rugby Town. So we won anyway, we kept our name, which was another one of our many battles that we seemed to be fighting at times. We had battles because we couldn't get into a certain league, they didn't want us. And it wasn't always easy, there was always an issue for us, always an issue.
My name is Sam Jarvis. I was involved with Rugby Town Junior Football Club from around about 1994 through to 2005. We used to tip a bag of balls out, put some goals up, and they'd be running around with the balls and banging the ball in the goal. And that's what excites the children as soon as they start putting the balls in the goal. I think I brought in something like 1,000 children into the club. It's something that the children need, to be out in the fresh air, kicking the ball around, making friends. The future is Rugby Town Junior Football Club, a wonderful club with tremendous backing, with a senior man there. I didn't mention his name, but we all know who he is. A wonderful guy who helped me through the times. The games that we used to find very hard was the ones that we played with Gregory Celtic. They had a good academy there, and they played some wonderful football, and we used to have some really exciting games with them. We used to win a few and lose a few, as long as the boys can understand that that is the name of the game, because you can't win everything. You've got to learn to lose as well as win. But the winning side of it is, of course, being involved. And having these people look after you, give up their time and show you the things you need, the skills you need to take you forward. Because some of the kids was natural. Others you had to work with them to get what they tried to achieve. But that's what we were there for.
Well, I'm Dave Henry, or David Henry, as my mother used to call me, David. Mac has been a brilliant chairman all the way through. Mac was chairman from day one, a great chairman, great clubman as well. I phoned Mac up and I said to him, Mac, I'm thinking of standing as chairman. What you think? He says, well, I was thinking of stepping down anyway. He said, I don't care if you're chairman as long as I can have the first pint when the clubhouse, the new facilities built. I went, by all means. And to be fair, he was the first one in there and had the first pint. But Brian was just unbelievable. Brian just kept finding this funding. He kept studying it, bringing these forms to committee no one could understand. And then he worked out that they were pretty much basically the same, so he could sort of photocopy everything and send it all in. He brought this business plan together, and it was so professional. It was unbelievable. It was, no one could not offer you money. The vision and the dream was all in this business plan, where we'll be in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, and it was amazing. He'd done such an amazing job of it. One of my biggest memories was Sam Jarvis. What a man! He was the first person you met. You were 4 years old, and Uncle Sam. You would the first person you met. Next minute, they're there 1 week. He's got women doing subs, doing registers. Then he's got dads helping, with coaching. Then, before they know it, the following season, he's actually got dads to move on, and they're coaching. And then the following season, he did it again, and it happened, and it happened. And he was, I would say, the most important. He filled every age group at Rugby Town. He was the most important person there, and it was so sad that he didn't carry on after Kilsby Lane was built, because he's just sort of, I've done my bit.
Yeah.
And that was it.
He did a lot of years, didn't he?
Yeah. He was instrumental in putting all those teams in place. You're talking 3 teams, 4 teams at an age group that he would bring through, and everyone was sort of bonded to it. And my wife now, my present wife, not that I've had many, she was one of those that Sam taught her lad was playing. She was on those who was involved. He got her on his little committee, and she was doing admin work. That's what she does for a living, admin work for him. And unbelievable, man. I used to love seeing it all in the paper. We used to take 2 pages of the paper every week. It used to be great. Seeing all the age groups. I don't know how the other teams felt. I mean, there was a bit of animosity from a few of the teams from in the town, Bilton Ajax and Hillmorton and those, but we had people who wanted to work for it and wanted it. We had, I mean, what Brian did was just unbelievable. I'm not lying. He deserves a knighthood for what he's done down there. He really has. It's nice to see my picture still on the wall.
My name is Tim Proudlot. I've been involved with Rugby Town Junior Football Club at an exec level from 2004 to 2012. During that time I was chairman from 2009 till 2012, and part of my role was to oversee the construction of the Kilsby Lane project as project manager on behalf of Rugby Town Junior Football Club. I've got a construction background. I was on the exec, and it made an awful lot of sense for me to be involved in the construction work, representing the club from a project management point of view. So that was really my main role, which I was extremely proud to be involved in. Yeah, it's a great club, and it's like I said, it started from humble beginnings, didn't it? Very humble. And it's progressed to what's here now, which is state of the art, isn't it? But I've not mentioned it much, and I know everybody sings Brian's praises, but I don't. This wouldn't exist without Brian. So certainly he deserves a special mention from me, because you have to appreciate his passion, don't you? And it's quite. It needs to be said as much as he he probably won't appreciate it, but he deserves the mention because obviously there's lots of other people, but Brian has been the stalwart, and he stayed the course, and he's still driving it now. So.
My name's Liam Coulter. I'm the current chairman of Rugby Town Junior Football Club. How did I get involved with the club? Well, very simply, I attended a meeting and Brian asked for volunteers, and I had an involuntary spasm of my right arm which went up in the air, and all of a sudden I'm Leicester League chairman for the juniors, who at the time all the junior football was played over there. I moved on then to become chairman of the club, so I've been involved as a volunteer for approximately 10 years now. Really enjoy it. I enjoy the people that I work with, and there's a great group of volunteers. Great group of people have been involved with this club now for 25 years. So if you look back, 1994 was the year that the club started. Well, two things happened. The Channel Tunnel opened, Mr. Bezos opened up Amazon, and Brian Crinigan started Rugby Town Junior Football Club. And it's grown from strength to strength during that time. We now have Rugby Town Juniors, Rugby Town Girls and Ladies, we have Rugby Town Veterans, and now a senior adult side, Rugby Borough FC. That whole partnership that we're working on will continue going forward, and it looks absolutely fantastic for the future for all the children who want to get involved in football, both boys and girls. I want to thank all the volunteers who have been around during my time with the club. Their contribution has been immense. To run a club this size, you need all the volunteers you can get your hands on. And we've had some fantastic people through, and we'll continue to have fantastic people coming through. But I want to pay a special thank you to Brian Crinigan, who's been the backbone of the club now for the 25 years. You know, from starting off with one team to where it is now, is a growth that is phenomenal and is the envy of most clubs. I think most clubs implode before they get to this stage, and we're poised with a great opportunity to go forward. And I look forward to being part of that as volunteer in some form in the future. I hope you enjoy our celebration of 25 years. There's plenty of information there. There's plenty of individuals around who can share stories with you, and it's a fantastic story. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.